All right, we are live. We are live here on the Week 8 edition of Halftime Hits, brought to you by Broadway Sports Media. Check us out at BroadwaySportsMedia.com. So Justin, joined here with Justin Graver at Titans Film Room on Twitter. Obviously, you can see JB on Broad here. Let's kind of dive into it. I said it's Week 8, but it really is a situation where it's a rinse and repeat of any sort of week where you could pick out for the Titans. We got missed field goals and terrible defense, but obviously a kind of a somber moment near the end of the half there with Adam Humphries and that big hit. Justin, did you think that should have been a penalty?
I mean, maybe it was pretty bang bang. I don't know if it was necessarily. It was a high hit on Humphries, but he was also going to the ground. So I don't think it was an intentionally malicious hit. So I'm okay with it not being a penalty actually. But it's nice to see Humphries able to get up and not need the stretcher. But they did cart him off the field. Probably won't see him again today.
Yeah, I don't think there was this. That's not necessarily the type of play that you put in the rules for that personal foul, that targeting hit. That's not necessarily the one you're taking out of it. I think Bates wasn't trying to do anything intentional there, but like you said, big time to see him get up and walk off. Well, not walk off, but walk to the cart under his own power. Could have been much worse. So let's get to some just overall thoughts. Let's start with the offense. What did you see? What did you like? And probably more so, what did you not like?
Well, what's interesting is that the offense is able to move the ball. They just haven't been able to capitalize. They get all the way down to the red zone. Tannehill throws a horrible interception in a double coverage. Don't know what he saw there. Maybe a tiny window, but there was no way that pass was getting through to A.J. Brown in the end zone. And then on the next possession, they have a little bit of a drive going, and they decide to kick a field goal there. I didn't like that decision at all, but do you want to stop and focus on that?
Yeah, it's a 4th and 7 in windy conditions. I mean, Gostkowski has caused enough of his own issues to be critical of him, but at the same time, in that situation, I don't think he was set up for success. I didn't like the decision to kick it there. So I think it's tough. It's tough because, again, if it was a situation where Gostkowski was making all of his field goals going into it, then, yeah, maybe you see him rolling out there. But knowing you kind of have a shady situation there at kicker to put him in that kind of a situation, I don't agree with that decision overall. But like you said, offensively, they are moving the ball. What you worry about now is that, they're down 10 points. This is not a team that gets away from the run game. They're still going to, you saw that real tone. I'm going to call it not a tone setting because they're already losing at that point, but a tone settling. They're trying to settle in on offense where they go in, they do go with I think it was 9 runs and 1 pass and get the touchdown there. But it's been shaky all around against a 1-5 team where you really would have liked them to come out here and really actually set the tone from the get-go.
So let's talk about what the offense, because the offense has only had 3 real drives. The first one was 8 plays, 61 yards, and ended at the 8-yard line with that interception. The next one was 8 plays, 43 yards, and the last one that you just mentioned was 10 plays, 75 yards, and a touchdown. They're having no trouble moving the ball. Then they hit the ball back with 32 seconds left, and Adam Humphries gets hurt, and kind of that drive didn't really have much of a chance. But if they start the game with the ball and they have that kind of 75-play touchdown drive where they're establishing things with Derrick Henry because they get the ball and they have the lead, I think this whole game looks different. So let's just address some of these comments here. Fire everyone. This team is pathetic. Horse shit. Is it time to seriously consider Gilmore? That's not as much, but there's a lot of reacting in here. Embarrassing how much the team spent on pass rushers. I can't disagree with that. Fucking embarrassing, excuse my language. Horrible half. All these things are kind of true, but they're also not that true. The Titans are outplaying the Bengals mostly, and we're seeing on offense just those few miscues, and on defense, the Bengals are only 5 for 8, which is an improvement actually for the Titans. They're down, believe it or not. Actually, I don't think it is over the 61% this season, but there's been so many plays where it feels like the Titans defense is this close to getting a stop, and whether it's that backup tight end catching it right at the sticks and somehow hanging onto the ball on 3rd and 1, or T. Higgins making an incredible sideline catch that looked like a pass that was thrown away, and the pass interference against Jonathan Joseph. This hasn't been a horrible half for the Titans. This has been a half with a lot of things that have not gone their way, but this is a long game, and the Titans, I think, overall have shown that they are a better team in this match so far, even though the scoreboard doesn't reflect that.
Yeah, Titans got to really settle in. They're still in position, obviously. If anybody watched the game last week, which I'm pretty sure most of the people here did, it's a situation where the Titans can absolutely still win this game. I will say, though, as some of the comments said, when it comes to that pass rush, and I've actually been a defender of the pass rush the past few weeks, in the sense of teams have been getting the ball out so quickly. But this week, Burrow is holding the ball. He's giving them an opportunity to get there, and they're not getting there. So they're going to have to be able – it's time to be critical of that. It's time for the Clownies, even Landry, your Simmons, and yes, Beasley, $9.5 million. You got to go make plays. And yes, Burrow – I'll give Burrow credit. He's playing a very good game. He's putting the ball where he's giving his receivers a chance to make plays on the ball and trusting his guys, and they're going and making it. Now, that said – a lot of them have been fairly low percentage plays. So it's one of those, you think it's going to right itself probably in the second half a little bit, but this is not a situation. The Bengals, you can say they're a good 1-5 team, but they're a 1-5 team. They're absolutely a 1-5 team, and the Titans should not be in a game like this where they're always having to play catch up.
I agree. And look, don't get me wrong. The defense is absolutely unacceptably bad. And the fact that they are allowing these plays, these near misses, it's been a season-long theme, the near misses. From last week, Ty Smith diving for that pass to Deontay Johnson and just missing the bat down, to against the Bills, against the Vikings with Kyle Rudolph making an insane one-handed catch in the back of the end zone. There's tons of these just misses, and that is not good enough. Football's a game of inches, and you've got to be able to capitalize. But I'm not just trying to put a positive spin on it either. The offense is truly going to dominate the Bengals in the second half in this game. I really think that. I think the run game is going to be the Titans get the ball to come out in the second half, and if this game isn't 17-14 after that possession, then I'll start reconsidering my position. But I really think that I'm not just trying to put a spin on it. But yeah, the defense is historically bad. It's terrible. I mean, the Seahawks are a team that are in a similar situation to the Titans, where their offense is amazing, their defense is historically horrible, and I don't know. I feel like you can win in the NFL when your defense is historically bad and your offense is really good, but it's a lot harder to do it the other way around. So this is my preference, but yeah, I mean, they can't keep allowing the third down conversion. They can't keep allowing Burrow to narrowly escape sacks if they want to have a better chance to win in the second half, because they got to get off the field.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those that, everybody keeps bringing up, hey, when they get Adoree back. Well, guess what? Adoree's not fixing everything. It's not – there's still issues. They came out in this game and they lined up 10 yards off the ball with their DBs. So they didn't really change up much. They're playing a little bit more man coverage. But at the same time, it looks like the Bengals are straight up, hey, find Jonathan Joseph and target him. Malcolm Butler's playing good, but also he's not getting too many opportunities because they don't feel the need to actually even go after him. So the good news is that the passing game is working, so you can't really too critical of the run defense, because I see a question here. What can the coaches do to fix this D? I mean, I think going against Burrow, and you've seen this for week after week, I really do think that they got to step up the blitzing in this category. It's one thing. Look, yeah, you want to be able to get home with 4. And for going against the Chiefs, I think that may be difficult where you have to blitz because Mahomes leads you alive. But for winning most of these games, you got to be able to put pressure on in any way, shape, or form. So I really do think they got to just bite the bullet and win some more games here by stepping up the pressure through blitzing and figure things out along the way. But right now, it's just they seem to be hitting their heads against a wall, trying to force a square peg into a round hole. At some point, as a coach, you have to adapt to it, and I don't think they've done a good job now, but they've got to be able to get there. That said, they have generally adapted fairly well over the last few weeks at halftime, so I think they're in a good situation outside of being down 10 points at halftime right now.
Yeah, that's very true. They could be. I mean, it could be worse, but the thing is, like you said, they just can't allow Burrow to find time, because he's great at maneuvering in the pocket against your 4-man rush, and he's not going to be threatened by Jeffrey Simmons collapsing the pocket. He's not going to panic in those situations. He'll stare down that rush and throw the ball. So you have to get guys running at him freely to force him off his spot and get the ball off his. That was the problem on that 4th down conversion, is that sorry, Max. The 4th down conversion is There, that's a riff on the Chiefs quote this week about the Jets. Didn't want to miss
All
that.
right. Well, we're coming back from halftime. I'm
over?
cutting you off. I'm cutting you off here. So, all right, check us out for the post game. We'll have several others here to get that instant reactions, and also check us out at BroadwaySportsMedia.com. Obviously, you can find Justin at Titans Film Room on Twitter and myself at JB on Broad. JG, last second score prediction.
Titans do what they did last week. Defense tightens up. They get some turnovers this half. They're getting some chances at the pressure. They're just not converting. I think they ramp it up this half. Titans win 34-27.
So I put up 27 points in the second half. All right, I got them at 28. I got them at 28-24 Titans. So either way, I do think, and I'm not being a homer here, I still think the Bengals are going to move the ball and put up some points, but I do think the Titans will find a way to pull it out. But big drive here. Got to get points coming out here at halftime. Thank you all for joining us this week. Again, tune in for the post-game show, and we'll be there for all the comments. Thanks, everybody.
All right. See you guys later.